Okay, so we'd just like to welcome you all to our team call tonight, and we have a special guest with us tonight from Romania, Georgiana. She spoke at the doTERRA convention and was wonderful. And I think we met in in the room? You were going through your talk notes, weren't you?
Yes.
You might not remember, but I think I met you there. And then, Georgiana has joined us tonight, and she's going to talk about her journey. Bex has got some questions, and we just love to hear how you got to Diamond and doing it at different places in Romania. One of the biggest questions we have all the time is the expense of the oils, and obviously over here we have a lot more disposable income, or a lot more money than you guys do in Romania, but still you're able to.
Yes, exactly. This is what I say all the time, that in fact the price of the oils is the same everywhere in Europe, only that here in Romania, for example, a home essential kit is equivalent as the cost is equivalent as the average salary for a month for a family or for an individual. So it's not easy from a cost of the oils point of view, but I think it's more challenging from another point of view. And what I really appreciate is the openness of the people, because they really understand what is the cost of health in fact. Hello, Becky.
Hello, Georgiana. Sorry. Let me just properly introduce Georgiana. I was just saying to Nathan, did you introduce her? He's like, yeah, you might want to introduce her again. So sorry, Georgiana, to cut you off. I just wanted to say a few things because we met in the little speakers room, didn't we, at convention?
Exactly.
And you came in such a lovely, glowing person, just walked in. I just thought, oh, she looks lovely. And we just had a lovely conversation, and you're just so sweet and kind, and just instantly it was just so easy to talk to you, and yeah, your presentation was lovely, and you were so willing to give and help and talk to our team. And I just wanted to say a massive thank you, and you know, it's such a hard thing to be Diamond in Romania, so it's an amazing achievement. And anyway, thank you. Carry on as you were.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really admire you very much, and I was very pleased that we can share this kind of experiences. I think we can learn a lot from different teams and different trajectories, in fact, because all the situations are different. And but we speak the same language in fact, and as we are listening to different leaders, we can find ourselves that are almost the same stories in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, the context in Romania is different. That is true. When I started with the oils, it was 3 years ago. I was first introduced to doTERRA, and I really felt the difference, and I really appreciate them from the very beginning. I was used to essential oils before, but I saw the difference, and I also saw, in a way, I think, the opportunity to share this kind of natural remedies, because I felt the need here, because Romania was among the top countries in antibiotic consumption at that point. It was the first or the second, yes, in Europe. So we use a lot of antibiotics, or many antibiotics are prescribed in healthcare facilities and in medicine in general. So I really felt that this alternative could help a lot. And it does. It does every day, and people feel the difference. And I think the secret is only to use the oils, to love them, and to have the courage to share them. and to speak about them every time you have the occasion. So I immediately after we had our first success with yours, it was one drop of digoxin on the tummy of our little baby, and she was 8 months at that point. And from that time, I felt the need and the urge to speak about that. So I started the Facebook group, and this Facebook group is now like 7,000 people, but I'm really limiting it because it could be really big, but I'm trying to make it, to keep it as a family, because it started as a family and I was very comfortable sharing things that I don't really share on my personal page regarding photos with kids and things like this. And in this group, I felt very comfortable to do that. Yeah.
So can I just ask, when you first started, Georgiana, was the price of the oils for you an issue? Like, was it, because they're very expensive, aren't they? And I know in Romania, and Nathan may have already spoken about this, it's you don't have, most people don't have as much money. Perhaps the income is less, isn't it? And
yes, it is in general, but for me personally, it was not the financial part was not an issue. And from speaking of this, I can also say that the finances in doTERRA were not an engine for me, not at all. But I'm still working on my why, in fact, because it's something that comes from so deep inside, and it's only like that. I wake up every morning and I love these oils, and I cannot not speak about it. And I think this is something that reflects when you do something, or when you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like working, and you just do it because you love it, and it's better to speak than to shut up. I think things happen, and people are joining you, and they share the same success, they share the same love, and they do the same things. And doTERRA is duplication, no?
Absolutely. So how about the people you're sharing with? Like, is money an issue for them? Because I just thought it would be quite cool for you to share a little bit about how you get over that obstacle and challenge, because in England, people say that oils are expensive, and we have people in our team saying that that's what they get sometimes from people. And I say, well, gosh, they're buying them in Romania. So, in other countries where it isn't like the 100 PV, like a third of the salary in general.
She was saying before she came
was
on,
she?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, saying that. So, is it?
I was just saying that Home Essentials, for example, is like an average salary for an individual in Romania. So it is expensive, it's true, but sometimes people choose to try only one or two oils and to use this welcome pack with them. And other people are waiting for 6 months maybe, or for even 2 years sometimes. For example, I now have a girl in my team that in fact she was asking me some questions. She was working as a journalist 3 years ago, and she wrote the first article with me speaking about the oils, and she just enrolled for a few months, and she is saying now that she was waiting because she was enrolled in a parenting course, and she just wait for the course to end to be able to buy the Home Essentials. But she's really dedicated, and she is a builder now in my team. So she had the potential. She could start building from the very beginning, but she was waiting because money was an issue. So sometimes there are decisions, or other times people just join with conviction that okay, they worked for me. I try them and I see them working, and I can start really building something and sharing with some friends, and then I will be able to buy them for myself. So there are different situations.
Okay. So do you find that you perhaps talk about the business a little bit more? And so when you do your class and people are saying perhaps they can't afford it, is that when you say to them, well, look, if you share it with a few friends, it might help to pay?
Me personally, I don't do that because it doesn't feel comfortable for me. I just say that okay, if money is an issue, you can choose to buy one oil at some point when you afford it, and with one oil you can solve so many problems. Or you have, for example, eucalyptus. Now you can use it even for fever, digestive issues, and I don't know, things on the skin, and or all sorts of things. So luckily, we are lucky that one oil can meet different situations. But on the other hand, I always say that for me, it's important that I have several oils that I can combine, and I can use one after the other as layers, or I can combine them and obtain this synergetic effect. So no, I focus on using, and we in general in Romania, we are focused on education, in fact, and on explaining people what they can do with the oils and what benefits they can have. And when they smell them, or when they have them in their homes, they can see that it's really like that. It's not only blah blah. It's really, they are really working. we are lucky that the oils work. You are muted, Rebecca.
Amazing product. Oh, we've got an amazing product. Okay, that's really interesting, because I hadn't thought. I thought maybe because that's kind of how we do it here, but that's really lovely to hear that you do it your own way. You're doing what you feel comfortable with. So then how does it grow? So if people just buy like one oil, say, do they buy one oil a month? How do
they get onto LRP?
Generally,
do they do it?
Yeah, do you get people onto LRP and that kind of thing, or?
So the people that I enrolled, and I used to be top enroller the first year, for example, I was top enroller, and I went to Bulgaria in the incentive trip, and last year also I was kind of top enroller, and I was winning the incentive trip in Canada. But I couldn't go because I was breastfeeding the baby, and I chose to stay at home. But what I wanted to say is that the people that I enrolled, for example, they enroll with Home Essentials, and I think that is also interesting. That if you enroll with one kit, you can speak of of its benefits, and you can share your reason for buying that particular kit, and then in general people enroll with the kit you enrolled with. This is my experience, at least. And with the LRP, it's also education, and if you explain that the benefits of the LRP and why it is important, and you can also, I always say that it's not mandatory to put the next order, but if you put it, you will have these advantages, and just explaining basically the advantages. I think the success is only in explaining very nicely what the oils do, and what doTERRA does for us, and what LRP does for us. And
yeah, absolutely, that's brilliant. And do you do that at a class, or do you do that in the like wellness consultation? Do you do it separately?
We have a Facebook group where we put our people that are enrolled, are newly enrolled, and there we explain the benefits of the LRP and things like this. And also in a follow-up after enrollment. After the first enrollment, you have this wellness consult or something like this. I will have to go for the baby, and I will come here with her, I think, because she's crying. Excuse me one moment.
Yeah, thank you, Georgiana. Amazing. Wow, I thought it'd be more hard selly. I thought it'd be a bit more businessy.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Getting people to be able to afford the kit. That's what I kind of predicted.
That's
interesting.
Really cool in a way, though, that people are buying them.
Yeah,
they believe in the
same
product.
way. And again, it's all about education. I love that. Do you mind shutting the door, maybe, or just leaving it slightly? Hello, welcome back. I can't hear you. Is there?
Okay. Okay. Now you can hear me.
Hello. It's lovely. It's, always juggling children and whatever country we're in. So brilliant. So that was interesting. I was saying to Nathan, I really expected it to be a little bit more businessy, but I love that. I love that you're focusing on education. And so that's how you get over the barrier of the cost, is by education then. So there's no kind of secret.
Yes.
You just
educate. Yes, exactly. And then you wait. You do the teaching, and then you wait. And sometimes people enroll after 6 months or 1 year, and just have patience. I think this is also the key. But it was interesting. I think it's a kind of particular the way I was building, because, for example, I consider myself for 2 years only a sharer, and then last fall I realized that in fact I really was a share, because I didn't concentrate on building the structure or how should I place people really effectively. For example, when I was first silver, I had a volume 3 times bigger than a silver should have. I had 2200, 2200, and I should have had 9000, no?
Yeah.
So the structure was not my best point.
Forte. Wow, amazing. You had so much volume. So you started 3 years ago?
Yes, I started 3 years ago, but as I said, I just watched my first placements video 1 year ago or something like this, when I was gold.
No way.
Yes.
Amazing, Georgiana. Wow. Well, that's nice for people to hear, I think, because lots of people do grow into being a builder. So at what point did you decide that you were going to do this properly? So were you just
I think it was after premiere, but also it's interesting now. If you want, I share. It's interesting that I was premiere at some point, and I lost the 2 executives that were qualifying me. Because they decided to build their own business and to sell essential oils, other essential oils. So I lost these 2 builders, and then I practically started all over again. And by the time I was premiere as a solid premiere, I think I started to realize that in fact I do this without an effort, and maybe I should take it more seriously. It was something like that.
Good job, you did. So from premiere to diamond, then how long did it take you to get from premiere to diamond?
So I let me think. I think I was premiere sometime in May, and then in the next December I was silver, and then from silver to gold it was really a challenge, because I didn't know exactly whom I'm working with. I was practically building myself the silver, and then yes, I was gold in June, again the next June, and in December I was diamond, and practically I was diamond from without being platinum. Or
I mean, you
yes,
just
because I had the volume and the structure, in fact, but was not built properly. But after I figured it out, and it was also very interesting that I participated last year at the convention with my husband, and I think that helped, because even though he is not really engaged in building or enrolling, or I would love to know your roles at some point, you and Nathan. But it's important that he can now he can now have the vision, and he can now understand more exactly what I'm doing, because until being part of the convention, he was saying things like, why don't you want that we do our own oils? Our own plantations and oils.
so he's got a good business head.
Yes.
Ambition.
Yes.
But now he gets it. Now he's with you, and
yes, now he can see that it's really something that we don't have to reinvent the wheel and do something that people do great.
Yeah, exactly. You can make enough money as doTERRA, not doing your own business.
Yes.
So wow, okay, so you got to diamond really quite quickly in Romania. So basically you're doing the same thing. So do you sample people? Is that how you get people to come to classes?
Sampling is not my best point. In fact, every time I sample, people walk with the samples, and I'm not good at follow up and asking people how it went and things like this. But I guess I'm good at explaining people why they should have the oils in their homes.
So can you do it to me? Can you demonstrate? Can you pretend like I'm someone you want to come to a class?
I invite you to a class in Romania.
Yes. Tell me why. Why should I come? Why should I come, Georgiana? What do you say to people?
Well, I think first of all, it's important to be really sincere. And if something doesn't work, just say it. Look, this doesn't work for me. For example, lavender doesn't work for me, as everyone says it should work. But lavender with cedarwood works really good for me and for our family. It was the first time. The first night I was using lavender with the cedarwood in the diffuser. The next morning was the first time my husband asked, what was it? It was really nice. So I think it's important to be sincere and say what it works and what doesn't. And my classes are really, I started doing all sorts of classes, in fact, from 30 people classes to 10 and to one-on-ones. I find now that the most effective are the classes with 4 or 5 people, when you can have their feedback and they can really say what are their challenges. Because otherwise, if they are 10 people, they are not so open to open up. I don't know how it is in other countries, but my experience is like this.
Yeah.
And it's easier when you interact, and you can really make people live with something for themselves, or make an individual approach to them.
Absolutely. So do you mainly teach the intro class? Do you focus on the home essentials kit? Do you focus on those 10 core oils in your class?
Yes, in general I focus on home essentials, and I'm choosing like 5 oils to really detail.
Okay.
And then there are personal stories or experiences that we have.
Okay. And then do you talk about the lifelong vitality as well? Does that go down well in Romania?
Me personally not, but it goes well, in fact, so I should. Yes, it is a good product, and people are really appreciate it very much. But I don't have the chance. I focus on oils. I don't know what it's more. I think it's more easy for me to speak about the oils because they are really what's in the bottle. It's natural, it's pure, it's only that. You don't have all sorts of ingredients. And well, we also have the challenge here that the in general network marketing is not well seen. Again, I don't know how it is in other countries, but here after in the 90s and after that, all sorts of companies entered the country, and people began to be really pushy about that, and others really stepped back and didn't want to hear. So we are also struggling with this perception and trying to change it. It's not easy. But I think that again, this product is really good, and this is our chance.
Yeah. So go on. Sorry.
Yeah, you can choose to think it's a network marketing, or you can choose to think you just buy it online because it's a good product.
So you focus on the product first. Always.
Yes, all the time.
So I had a question, which 5 oils do you share about? Is it different each class, or do you generally do the same 5 when you go into detail?
It depends also who comes to the class, but in general, they are the basic, like lavender, melaleuca, Dejas, and On Guard, and maybe frankincense or breathe is also part of this. Frankincense in general, I introduce it through stories, for example, not necessarily focusing only on frankincense.
Okay. So when you go into detail with some of the oils, do you tell stories about the other oils? Is that how you say something about every one of them? Or
yes, I try to integrate them because we really use them. Every oil we use, and more from what is not in the home essentials. And yes, I love to speak about them, so stories come very easily.
And how long do you do your class for? Because that's my biggest challenge, Georgiana, is to not talk too much. But how long are your classes?
Well, as Teresa Harding says, every minute that passes 45 minutes
switch off.
is a loss, no? So yes, we try to make them concentrated and around 45 minutes. If people have questions, they can ask them. Well, there were times, as I said, I was a sharer for a very long time, and I was pregnant, traveling the country like kilometers and kilometers in other cities, and I forgot to say that these oils can be really bought. so concentrated on education I was.
That's amazing. I love that.
You can actually buy them, people. I forgot to say. So yeah, it's interesting how we can make this balance without feeling ourselves like being salesy, and also acknowledging people that they can have them also. We have to find this balance. And
Absolutely. No, I was the same. So I'm laughing because it's great. It's great to hear that. So if people don't sign up at the end of the class, well, do you try and get them to sign up at the end of the class? You know, not pressure, but do you just say, you know, and then if you want to buy a kit, then you just fill out the form, or, you know, how do you do your close?
Yes, I lately I start to say something like this, but people in general, they don't sign up at the end of the class. They really need like 6 or 7 exposures. So they really have to prepare for this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sign up from right away.
Wow. So how do you then keep on touch with them and make sure you don't lose them? What do you do next?
We introduce them in Facebook groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a Facebook group then for people that have signed up, and do you have a separate one for people that
Yes.
haven't signed up?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you find you capture most people then, is through like posting on Facebook, and then eventually they'll contact you, or do you reach out
Yes,
to them?
yes, this is what I was saying in the beginning, that after the first success, I did this group that felt like a family, and there I was really sharing every day what we do and what is happening. And I had, for example, a friend of mine that signed up. She just contacted me after about 1 year of being exposed. I really didn't know she's in the group, and she was not giving any like or anything. But when she called me, she said no. She was writing to me, and she said, "I want the home essentials." And I was like, "What? Do you know what that is?"
Amazing.
Yeah.
I like that. So do you invite people to like your page in the beginning? Did you just invite your friends to like it when you first started? How did you get it started?
Yes, first I get it started like that. I just asked them if they would be interested to find out more about yours.
Okay.
So never put people in Facebook groups that they are not, if they are not interested with the subject.
That's me. And then as it's continued, as you find people, as you come across people, you just add them to the group, or if they come to your class, then you add them to that group.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And the contacts I make in general, if this conversation comes, then I ask them if they would be willing to be part of this group.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So most people you have come to a class don't have a sample. They haven't been sampled before, would you say? Most people haven't. You've just had a natural conversation with them and got them to come to the class by showing them how.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In general, it is like that.
That's cool. I like that. And so when you say you're good at getting people to classes, because I know lots of people will be like, what does she say? What does she say? Do you just kind of pique their interest? Like, do you get to know them first? Do you build a relationship? Do you find out what they want to hear and then say you're going to mention it at the class? How do you, what's your warm up for the invite?
In fact, lately I'm not doing many live classes. I just started now to I want to have more discipline with this. I also, in this period of 3 years, I had a little baby and I delivered another one. So I was really a fresh mom, let's say. So there were episodes when I had the time for classes and when I didn't. And now I want to start again with the live classes and with the physical classes. And I would like to make one a week in a particular place at the same hour, so that people can know about these events. And I think even though you have 1 or 2 persons at the class, it's important that they are there and to really share from the heart what you have to say and not be disappointed that it's only one person. Mm-hmm. It's important that person is there, and we should give them our best.
I agree. Thank you. And so when you were doing live classes before, what did you say to people to get them to come to a class? Like, how did you get them to come?
In general, through this Facebook group, I just post the invitation and people come.
Okay, but because they've already had, so usually they're not brand new people to the group. They're probably people that have been watching you for a while then.
Yes, probably they are people that are watching and they are used with the subject, and when they are prepared to come and see and know more, they come.
So would you say the main way you've built to Diamond is through Facebook then? Would that be your main way, or is it more like...
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was the main way, because as I said, I also did these efforts of traveling across Romania, but I didn't really have had the result from there.
Okay. Okay, so you didn't do hosted classes very much either. It was more just generating Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then people come.
Yeah.
They ask, "What about that?" And in general, they ask you privately. They ask for more information. So we are not persuasive. If even in this Facebook group, it's information and education. We are not like, "Oh, this is the promotion." We say once a month that this is the promotion of the month, but for the rest, we just educate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so when you say we, is it, so what, did it start off just your Facebook group, and then have you invited your builders to be part of it too?
Yes, they were part of it from the beginning, and at some point they decided that they would like to have their communities, and I also appreciate that also. I think it's important for everyone to find its own language and...
Okay, that's great. I've one last question, but if anyone else has questions, some people have, so yeah, please post your questions, and if you've got a few more minutes, are you okay for time at the moment?
Yes, I am okay. The baby's sleeping.
Okay. Amazing. So have I forgotten my last question? I think I've just forgotten my last question. So I'm going to ask one of the questions here. So we had that. Do you get many people? No, we've already asked the lifetime vitality one. So how many percentage goes on LRP then, would you say? So underneath you, what percentage do you have on the loyalty rewards?
My personal percentage, I don't really know now, but in general we have around 80%.
80
in the team, and I also have a girl in my team that is also Diamond, and she has 93%.
93%. That's amazing. So people that they're probably not on 100 LR, so just buying like something each month. Is that
yes
amazing? So how do you do that? They are amazing stats.
Yes, I know. So it's like this, as I said, it's education and being there for the team and answering their needs, and
okay,
I think things just happen like that.
So you think, so from Facebook, so you have your support Facebook group for
Yes.
customers, and are you posting things every week, like sharing new things they can do with their oils? Do you talk about other oils they could perhaps get into?
Yes, that also. It's not something really strategic, like having subjects each day, that you can also do that, but we are like ad hoc.
Just natural.
Very natural. If we find a need for something, we do it, and I think it's also important to really work as a team, and to find the goals that can be completed, and to work together as a team.
Mm-hmm. That's lovely. So do your builders help you manage your Facebook group? I mean, before they split off, because some builders, you said, are doing their own, but before they split off, did they help you manage your Facebook group? Did you work together on it?
Yes, we used to work together, and now we also, if we have projects together, we do them.
Yeah.
So we still work together and communicate well.
Lovely. Okay. How do you educate and share on Facebook and managing doTERRA complaints? So, yeah.
Managing complaints.
Compliance. So, managing doTERRA. Oh, compliance. I think. Is that what they're saying? Oh no, that's Lena. So she's definitely saying complaints. Yeah. So I guess what she's saying here is sometimes on some Facebook groups that people have in our team, they can say that sometimes they get lots of people complaining, perhaps about, like, for example, just recently the changing in names, and if someone starts complaining, or if someone has a bad experience with an oil, perhaps, and they put it on your Facebook group, and they can be quite negative. How do you handle that, I think, to manage those kind of things?
Yeah, there were situations really challenging. As I said, for example, these girls that decided to to build their own business and to sell other oils, they started talking bad about doTERRA, and things were, there were subjects like not very pleasant. But also I decided not to make to leave them there, because also from a negative, even though the topic or the main subject is negative in a way, the debate can be really positive. I think so. Overall the result is good because they can see that, and also there are really educated people here that know a lot about the oils and about the science.
Great.
So if you have a debate like this with arguments, then the result it's pleasant to read.
That's brilliant. And it shows that you've got an open group and you're not trying to hide anything.
Exactly. Yes.
I like that. So what about compliance? Like when you're on your closed group, are you still quite compliant, or do you relax a bit with compliance?
It depends what you understand with this. So of course that we are more relaxed than, I know that in the States you cannot name or say sinusitis or parasites or I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you? I think you do. No?
Yeah. Well, we don't have to be as compliant as America.
Yes, exactly. So we say things.
Okay. And because it's a closed group, so will you say, oh, DigestZen help my stomach issue, like my diet?
Yes, of course. Yeah. We say everything until it's forbidden.
I know. Yeah, in closed groups, I think it's fine. Okay,
exactly.
Cool. I was going to ask you, it's come back to my head, so I'm just going to ask my last question. You said you didn't have any builders. You didn't know who your builders were till you were like silver. So how did you then identify them? So they weren't the top of your legs, I'm assuming. You had to find them somewhere.
Yes, exactly. I was just looking for people that were at least enrolling.
Yeah.
And then showing up at Zooms, for example, or in general showing up. And then I started focusing on them. But as my upline used to say, Hailey Hobson, she was saying the people that qualify you for one rank are not necessarily the people that qualify you for the other. And it also happened like that for me. So the elites were not the same as the future premiers. And
Okay. But now you have your key leaders and you've identified your key leaders.
I finally identified them, yes.
Phew, it's nice. It's nice when you find them, isn't it? So I guess you sign up customers and then watch them grow. That's kind of what you did at the beginning. You watched them grow, and then you could then identify them through what they were doing, and you helped turn builders.
Exactly. And I think the conclusion of this call can be also that you can build no matter if you are really doing the right thing or not, because now speaking with you, I realized that in fact I could really do things differently and really, for example, people were enrolling, and I consider them customers because I was speaking only about the oils, So even after they enrolled, I didn't feel comfortable speaking about the opportunity or the fact that they could really do something with doTERRA. And even like that, things happen.
Yes.
Even like that, things happen. And also I think this has to do with the fact that, for example, I myself had the internal motivation, and in a way I was expecting for the others to have the same internal motivation and to really feel themselves guided from inside, to share and to do things. But things don't always happen like that. So we also have to do steps toward people.
Yes, absolutely.
And the moment we do it doesn't really happen, because in the end we can have the same result even though we are diamond in 1 year or in 3 years or in 10 years. We will all be diamonds someday, no?
Absolutely, Georgiana. There's no race, and I think this call has been lovely, and to hear that you've stuck with your integrity and you feel your way, and you do things that you feel comfortable with, and then things will grow because people will see that genuineness. And the oils, they're such an incredible product. So if we're genuinely sharing that, it will grow. It will grow if we're giving. And I love that. I loved everything you said. So thank you so much for coming on our call, Georgiana. I really appreciate
You're welcome. You're welcome, and you are invited also to join our call.
Yes. I remember. We haven't set a date, have we? When you set a date, yeah. I'm very excited to come onto your call.
Sorry for being really dark here, but I couldn't open the light because of the baby.
Thank you. Thank you for working it around. You're busy. You're a busy mum, and we really appreciate it.
I hope it was. Useful for you and your team. I see that you have such a big team. Everybody's here, and I'm very happy for that.
Well, do you know what? The comments are coming in saying, thank you, lovely lady. Thank you, Georgiana, for your time and great story. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. So I can guarantee that everyone's loved it, and you're such a genuine, just lovely person. It just shines out of you, Georgiana. So thank you.
Thank you so much. You are lovely. Have a nice evening.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye.